Alright guys, welcome to the second ever deck tech with Roman Pearce. Today I'm going to be showing you my Kudoltha Goblins modern deck. Now, this is a deck a friend got me hip to. It's really fast, it takes almost no land, and it's a thoughtful aggro deck. Like, a lot of people say that you don't put thought into aggro, where aggro, in my opinion, is one of the things where you have to think about the most decision making wise. Like, what do I play? Do I play my haste guy now? Do I play him later? Um, a lot of things in aggro can just shoot your plans off, whereas control, that's not necessarily the case. Now, I can't speak for control because I don't play it. Um, my only time I played control is when I played the Gristlebrand Conley Woods build with Jaros Messengers instead of Vampire Nighthawks, and that deck actually did pretty well for me. Alright, so let's get started on our deck. We're going to go with, first off, we're going to get 4 Ornithopters. Now, these guys are literally 98% of the time, they're just sack outlets for cards you're going to see coming up. Next up is Memnites. These guys are really good. You play them in Affinity, you play them in Kudoltha Goblins, baby. Next up is my favorite battle cry creature ever, Signal Pest. Now, this guy, he has evasion, which makes him harder to kill unless someone just goes like shock or lightning bolt, which is never a good feel, but he's still pretty good. So let's get started on our 1-drops. We have, well, we already did, but Legion Loyalist. He's in the deck because he's just a straight upgrade from Raging Goblin. If you don't know what Raging Goblin is, it's a 1-mana 1/1 haste goblin. This guy is a 1-mana 1/1 haster, but he has Battalion. And whenever he and 2 other creatures attack, they gain Trample, First Strike, and can't be blocked by tokens. So it's a very, very good upgrade to that card. Next is a card that I am very fond of, actually, because his name is Mogg Fanatic. Now, this guy is very, very interesting in combat, where, like, I was playing my friend Warren one time, and I had Legion Loyalist, Goblin Guide, and a Signal Pest out, and I played a Mogg Fanatic, and I swung in, and he had 2 Master of the Pearl Tridents out. So they were both 3/3s. My creatures were swinging in for, no, I had 2 Legion Loyalists and a Signal Pest, and they were swinging in for 3 total? Was it? Anyways, the point is that I did 2 first strike damage to both. Yeah, it was 2 Legion Loyalists. Did 2 first strike damage to both of the Master of the Pearl Tridents. Then, in response to first strike damage happening, I sacrificed Mogg Fanatic to deal 1 to one of the lords, which successfully killed the other lord, because they were both at 1 toughness, and they were both giving each other +1/+1, and when one lord dies, the other one loses the +1/+1, both lords died. Next up is probably, I have to say, my second favorite goblin of all time, probably, maybe my third, Goblin Guide. 1 red mana, 2/2 haste. He gives your opponent land advantage, which isn't the best, but I mean, you're hitting him for 2 on turn 2, and for 2 thereafter, unless he plays significant creatures. Now, this has got to be my favorite goblin of all time coming up. He is 1 red mana, 1 red kicker, Goblin Bushwacker. For those of you that don't know what Goblin Bushwacker does, what he does is he's 1 red mana, but you can pay 1 red mana to kick him. When he enters the battlefield, if he was kicked, creatures I control get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Now, what that does, it just makes every goblin, every Memnite, Ornithopter, Signal Pest +1 power, and in this deck, you're just going for a turn 4 kill, if not faster. So it's a very essential card in the success of this deck. Next up is a card that I'm not too sold on in this deck, Goblin Wardriver. I just think he's a little slow. Red, 2/2, Battle Cry. I mean, there's worse I could be playing. Next up, the namesake of this deck and what you sacrifice Ornithopter to, Kudoltha Rebirth. 1 red mana, you sacrifice an artifact, its addition to its cost, and you get 3 1/1 goblins in play. Now that's, I'll do that any day of the week. Next up is the upgrade to Lightning Bolt if you have 3 or more artifacts. Galvantic Blast. He does 2 damage regularly, so he's a shock or an upgrade to Lightning Bolt, which for 1 red mana I'm not going to complain about. Next up is the original, the Lightning Bolt. I like showing off my foil textless one. Yeah. 1 red mana, 3 damage to target creature player. Super good. Next up, and the last cards are Goblin Grenades. Sack a goblin, deals 5 damage. It's totally bonkers, and it's my favorite burn spell of all time. I just love the card. It's won me so many games. It's insane. Alright, so, and with that, there is 16 land in this deck, and then we don't have a sideboard. The only cards I can tell you that I play in the sideboard are... I haven't gotten this... I mean, I guess this is my sideboard. We're going to start out with 4 Warren Instigators. Now, people say to me, why don't you just play Warren Instigators regularly? Well, because I don't really get a bonus off of them, if you get what I mean. Like, if I play them, sure, I get a Goblin Wardriver, but I mean... I enjoy the bonus I get from Warren Instigator, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have Goblin Lackey. I want that back. Bring him back. In Standard. Or just say he's modern legal. That's all I want in life. Just kidding. Okay. Alright, so, next up in the sideboard, I am so mad they put these in Modern Masters, is 4 Blood Moon. Because since Modern is a format where like 98% of the lands are either fetch lands or shocks, that guy just shuts everyone down unless they're playing a red deck. Next up is a card that I'm not necessarily proud about, but my metagame calls for it. Combust. Colorless, red, 5 damage to target white or blue creature. And it can't be countered. So, people play Merfolk at my Merfolk and Death and Taxes at my where I play games at Big Larry's Comic Book Cafe. I also work there. So I mean that's a metagame thing. And then the I guess lesser Mogg Fanatic Goblin Arsonist. 1 red mana, 1/1. He trades with a 2/2, which is nice. Like he'll trade with a Tarmogoyf if there's not already a creature in your graveyard. Didn't think of that. Okay, guys. So that was my 2nd ever deck tech with Roman Pearce. Now, tell me what you think. This is a lot shorter than my other one, maybe because this deck is a lot simpler and it's a lot faster. It's more aggro. Can't lie. So just let me know what you think. I'm always up to listen to suggestions, advice, help, anything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.